There are people who break, and then there are people who rot. Ed Gein didn't snap one day. He decayed over decades, quietly, patiently, like a corpse learning to breathe again. His story isn't a crime tale. It's a warning about what happens when isolation becomes religion and grief becomes a blueprint. Ed grew up in a home where the air was thick with sermons about sin, where his mother's voice was the only law and every other human being was a contamination. When she died, Ed didn't lose a parent. He lost the only voice he believed was real. And in the silence she left behind, something inside him began to whisper back. He sealed off her room like a tomb. He let the rest of the house rot. He lived in filth, slept beside decay, and treated loneliness like a companion. Here's the part people pretend they understand, but never truly grasp. Ed Gein robbed graves. Not for money, not for revenge, but because he believed he could rebuild the world he lost. He dug up the dead, took parts of them, and used those parts to craft objects, clothing, decorations, twisted attempts at connection, attempts to resurrect the comfort he once had. He murdered 2 women, Mary Hogan and Bernice Warden. Ordinary people who crossed paths with a man who no longer recognized the boundary between the living and the dead. He didn't kill for pleasure. He killed because his mind had collapsed inward until the world outside became a tool for repairing the world inside. Everything he made, everything he kept, everything he stitched together was an attempt to recreate his mother's presence in the only way his broken psyche could imagine. Ed Gein wasn't a monster. Monsters have intention. Monsters have hunger. Monsters have purpose. Ed was a void wearing a human face. He believed the dead could be borrowed. He believed identity could be worn like clothing. He believed silence could be shaped into companionship. His creations weren't trophies. They were rituals. Attempts to become someone else. Attempts to escape himself. Attempts to resurrect a voice that had long since stopped speaking. He didn't want power. He wanted comfort. And that's what makes him terrifying. The true horror of Ed Gein isn't what he did with his hands. It's what happened in his mind. He lived in a world where the dead were closer than the living, where grief was a teacher, where loneliness was a sculptor, and where reality was optional. He didn't see bodies. He saw materials. He didn't see death. He saw possibility. He didn't see horror. He saw home. And when the police finally entered his house, they didn't just find evidence. They found a museum of madness, a shrine to a mother who never let him grow, and a man who never learned how to be human. Ed Gein is disturbing not because he was evil, but because he was ordinary until he wasn't. He is the nightmare of isolation, the cautionary tale of devotion turned disease, The proof that a human mind can rot without anyone noticing until the smell becomes impossible to ignore. And the most unsettling truth, he didn't think he was doing anything wrong. He thought he was fixing something broken. He thought he was healing. He thought he was home.
Did you work all night at that then? I should think you have.
That's right.
What would you do with the sexual part?
That was in.
One was painted, they said.
Oh, that one, when they died, I just put the paint over it. The virgin white,
How did you start?
Like I say, not before years. So there's a bunch of photographers from the newspapers want to take a picture. Do you want to take a picture? No, it's not yet. Till we get taken off.
Would you enjoy it while you were doing it?
That's the worst part of it. I really didn't then. I knew better, restless.
When you dig these graves up, you were kind of in a haze too, is that it?
That's what I could do. Just, how you do it.
And then one time you said you were trying to realize what you were doing and you covered her up without taking anything.
That's right.
What would you do with the sexual part then?
They them in the box, that was in.
Then what would you do with the head?
That must have been taken from reading about in these magazines and everything. Taken the flesh off like a headhunter.